2006 Community Trust Bank Pike County Bowl. The Blue Devils of Henry Clay High School and the Panthers of Pikeville. Two-story programs meet in our bowl finale. Henry Clay comes in as the favorite, coming off a Class 4A state semifinal season. D1 recruits Aaron Boyd and Chase Minifield will be called on by Coach Sam Simpson as he will try to use his team's athletic ability to take down Pikeville. The Class A Panthers will try to control the line of scrimmage in their attempt for the upset, as head coach Mike Jackson will rely on the leadership of senior quarterback John Michael Mayo and standout lineman Casey Rowe. It's the Henry Clay Blue Devils and the Pikeville Panthers. Game number 2 of the 2006 Community Trust Bank Pike County Bowl. Next on WYMT.
The 2006 Community Trust Bank WYMT Pike County Bowl, presented by Food City, is sponsored.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the 2006 Community Trust Bank WYMT TV Pike County Bowl, presented by Food City. It's Sunday afternoon as you're watching, but it's Saturday night, the final game of the first week of the high school football season. I'm Ryan Milam alongside Jim Frazier. And game number 1, which was aired last night, it was Pike Central beating East Ridge 28-21. Tonight, it's Henry Clay and Pikeville in a game that traditionally has two heavyweights coming out of Lexington and Pikeville, of course. Last year, we got to see Henry Clay. They've lost a lot of talent. However, they've got a lot coming back.
Yeah, they certainly, of course, we saw the coach's son do a great job directing the no huddle, and that was, of course, against the Belfry Pirates. You know, interesting thing here with the Pike County Bowl, they now are on 2-year contracts, Brian. So right. Henry Clay and, of course, also Newport Central Catholic signing the 2-year contract. So this year they take on Pikeville, and looking forward to a good game. I see number 31 right there, Mr. Football candidate Chase Minifield. And, of course, his dad, Frank Minifield, played for the University of Louisville and on with the pros, all-pro for the Cleveland Browns, defensive back, and that young man can play. Really an entertaining player.
That's exactly right. He is one of the fastest guys in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah.
And there you see Coach Simpson, Coach Jackson. You look at Pikeville, they're a team that has a lot of great athletes, not a lot of seniors. John Michael Mayo, that's where the discussion kind of starts with Pikeville. He's bulked up to nearly 220 pounds and being recruited by several Division I schools. A new-look Pikeville team, they're going to throw some different formations at you that you don't see very often, kind of like a spread Urban Meyer type of offense.
And, of course, young Mr. Mayo, an excellent student as well, being recruited by the Ivy League school. So, you know that he also has got the job done in the classroom, and certainly we like to emphasize that.
One of the great athletes, the Honeakers, are out there also. Daniel Harmon, a sophomore. We'll talk much more about the Panthers and the Blue Devils. We're getting ready for kickoff, and when we come back, we will have the opening kick to the final game of the first week of the high school football season here at the Pike County Bowl. Welcome back to the Community Trust Bank WYMT TV Pike County Bowl, presented by Food City. It is the Henry Clay Blue Devils out of Lexington taking on the Pikeville Panthers, two tradition-rich programs. But you look at what
my name is Matt Young. I'll be the
Henry
referee
Clay has done recently. They went to the state semifinals last year. A lot expected this year. Let's go down for the coin toss from the official.
We're going to do our very best to keep the game fair and safe and work hard, hustle, and do our best to have every call right this evening. Henry Clay is the visiting team. That means you'll be calling the coin toss. Number 4 will be calling the toss. Step on in here, sir. Mr. Saylor will be flipping the coin this evening. The United States Congress is heads. The Eagle is tails. We're going to let the coin hit the turf and check out what it is. What is your choice, heads or tails? Tails. He said tails. He said tails. That means if the coin, tails is the call. Go ahead and flip the coin, sir. And it's a heads, which means Pikeville has won the toss. Do you want to defer or do you want the football? Defer. They want to defer. Pikeville's won the toss, and they've deferred. Which way do you want to kick? Defend the scoreboard. So step over here. Henry Clay, step over here. First half option goes to Henry Clay. They're going to take the football. Good luck, gentlemen. Have a great game.
Of course, a great job there by once again, the officials from the Northern Kentucky Officials Association. Referee Matt Young, you saw there. His umpire will be Jason Seligman. The linesman, Brian McClure. Line judge will be Chris Scott. And the back judge, the man with the clock, will be Jim Caldwell. Jim Coldwell, I should not Caldwell. C-O-L-W-E-L-L, Coldwell.
And we also want to recognize on the coin toss Tim Saylor, the man in the teal-colored shirt. He's the Legends Award honoree for this weekend's Pike County Bowl. And we hope to hear from him sometime in this broadcast, and definitely next week, early in the week for WYMT Sports, because a true legend in Eastern Kentucky coaching. Of course, now the Harlan County Superintendent.
Yep.
He coached at Cumberland, Pineville, and Kaywood, ending his career in the mid-90s, and he's the Legend Award winner. As for Pikeville, we talked about John Michael Mayo, Honaker, Ted and Timmy Honaker. The two brothers are great players.
Well, another time, they're former students of mine, okay? So once again, I've kind of got a little bit of a rooting interest, rooting for everyone, of course, but those kids also really special, just juniors, and they've made an impact in both their freshman and sophomore years, as well as young Mr. Mayo. I remember him on the defensive side of the ball as a safety, having a big game as a freshman. So they've got some players that have had some big games. I believe, though, a tough task against Henry Clay this evening.
Let's quickly take a look at the keys to the game, if we can, for Pikeville, as they have deferred. So Henry Clay will receive the football. Keys to the game for Pikeville, the biggest one, Jim, prevent the big play, because Henry Clay loaded with big play potential.
Certainly Belfry couldn't do that last year in the Pike County Bowl, and Mr. Minifield seemingly able to explode at any moment. Pikeville will have to sustain their drive so that they can keep the ball away from this explosive Henry Clay team. And certainly number one, I think, or A1A, I should say, stay healthy. Just saw Mr. Gordon Varney be the MVP of the first game this evening, and as you were watching, of course, last night. But what a great job he did, but nearly a tough injury. You certainly don't want to come away crippled after the first game.
Kicking off for the Pikeville Panthers will be Max Bofunda, a 6-foot junior, back deep for the Blue Devils. Clark Jeter and Chase Minifield. And if you like to watch some electric football, if they get their hands on it, they could score quickly. We are ready for the kickoff. Bofunda approaches the football, and we are underway. A little pooch kick. And it's fielded by, I believe, Eric Howard, maybe Mike Fettersfield. We'll see.
Yeah, Coach Jackson kind of had a little bit of a wrinkle. I think that was certainly not a missed kick. They had the idea that perhaps they could kick it over that first line of receivers, first line of blockers, and perhaps get their hands on it. Not a big return, and just as Brian mentioned, number 31, you see him coming to the bottom of your screen. When he gets his hands on it, I think you'll see the sort of the Pikeville people go, oh, look out.
Henry Clay in the spread formation. Ryan Philippi is the quarterback, and he quickly goes to Minifield. And the first play of the season for Henry Clay is an incomplete pass as they try to get it to the Mr. Football candidate, Chase Minifield. Folks, if we see him stretch his legs tonight, he will be off to the races, believe you me, because the kid is one of the fastest in the state of Kentucky. He also has set state record in some of the track and field events.
Well, doesn't surprise me. The kid, he moves so fluidly.
And the yellow hanky comes out again.
Fire the snap. Snap infraction. Number 58 on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Up front for Pikeville on this defensive front, you've got Casey Rowe, Ryan Shurtleff, Brad Bryant, Isaac Sanders, and that takes care of the guys up front. Now, they do play at times, Pikeville, 4 linebackers, so we'll see what kind of pressure the front line can get. Philippi back to pass across the middle to Minifield. He breaks a tackle to 38. Johnny jukes his way to the 43-yard line. A lot of flash and dance, but only pick up of 3. 3rd and 10 from the 37 as Philippi is in the shotgun. He's got receivers 3 to the top of the screen and at the bottom another. He rolls to the left, high throw, and wide open was Clark Jeter, and he would have had a first down. But Pikeville's defense, they hold and enforce forces the punting unit to come on. Henry Clay has a man wide open at the top of the screen. They don't get it to him. Chase Minifield, a bomb of a punt. Jacob Sword takes it inside his 20. So Pikeville, nice punt by Minifield. So Pikeville will take over at about, they mark it at around the 18-yard line. So
Royce and Susan's baby boy here. I tell you what, he gets it done. And, you know, they enunciate that Royce over in Floyd County, but it's Royce here in Pike County. So there's a little bit of difference between the Pike County and Floyd County enunciation of his father's name. Of course, his father, former head coach and an assistant coach here now.
Harmon takes it, and a little direct snap straight to the sophomore, and he gets a couple out of it. Now, you're going to see Pikeville line up in some very strange formations. Now, when you look at the offense for Pikeville, they are going to be set up in some strange formations. So it's almost like a wing tee. It's almost like a side saddle. It's a little bit of everything. Again to Harmon. He takes a direct snap, and he gets up close to the 25-yard line. They will give him the 25. He'll be about 4 yards shy of a first down.
The sideline warning against Pikeville. That's their first warning. The next foul will result in a 5-yard penalty.
Tell you what, Matt Young and his crew getting things going here early, aren't they? Sideline warning is perhaps the quickest sideline warning we've seen.
Less than 3 minutes into the game and already a sideline warning. So here you hear Mike Jackson's voice in the camera down on the field.
Yeah, it's sort of a tough break here, sort of a third down and about 4, and somewhat of a little confusion here between second and third down.
And both teams are clapping, but I believe the flag's going to be on Henry Clay.
Encroachment. Number 6 on the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty, and the distance results in a first down.
So there you have it. Henry Clay a little excited trying to get to the football, so they're charged with the penalty, and it's an automatic first down for the Panthers at 9:40 in the running clock. Very strange start to the game. Both teams a little
that first game,
struggling a little bit, trying to find some rhythm. Mayo audibles at the line of scrimmage. Now he goes in motion. It's a direct snap to Harmon. Harmon has got some room. He's got a first down, and he picks up 13 as Mayo went in motion, and the direct snap to Harmon, and the sophomore gets the first down for the Panthers.
Coach Jackson doing these types of things, he must feel like that he's got some pretty savvy players out there being able to make adjustments sort of on the fly. And, sometimes you put a lot of things in. If you don't have that savviness, that instinctive play, it can confuse a lot of guys, as well as confuse defenses as well as your own offense.
Well, it's very much a misdirection type offense, almost a single wing, but then you see all the different formations you can come out of. Again to Harmon on the snap. He's got about 5, powers his way, gets about 7. So Pikeville delivering the blow to the much bigger Blue Devils.
I want to tell you, the Blue Devils had a great year last year, and see if we can get a look here. You're going to see perhaps just a direct snap and good blocking point of attack, and nobody lays a hand on him for about the first 5 yards. Finally brought down there by Burton.
Pikeville now 2nd and 3 as Mayo has Harmon just to the left or the right of him now. Mayo again in motion. It goes to Harmon. Great blocking, and he's got another first down, so the chains will move in favor of the Panthers.
Good job by Coach Jackson's crew. Is number 24, that's Daniel Harmon, the 5'10 sophomore, getting the workout, carrying the heavy load here early.
And he talks about Harmon being possibly the best all-around back he's ever coached, and that includes everybody, 2 All-Staters at Oldham County, very strong, quick, fast, great hands, and started in 3 sports last year, football, basketball, baseball. So this young man, maybe the next great athlete to come out of Pikeville, 1st and 10 at the 44. And another flag this time will be on Pikeville. And the officials, Coach Mike Jackson is letting the side judge over here, he's giving him an earful.
You know, they may say that everyone wasn't lined up here.
The foul is unsportsmanlike conduct against the offense. That's a 15-yard penalty. It's still first down.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on who? I wonder if it came from the sideline.
Not real sure there. Certainly Mike Jackson isn't maybe enamored with Brian McClure right now.
Just got word the flag was thrown on Coach Jackson, so 1st and 10, all of a sudden 1st and 25. Mayo in the shotgun. Harmon's back there. You've got Honeckers. Only one Honecker, can't see. That is Ted back there. Mayo, the inside screen to Harmon, and he's going to get nothing out of that. May even lose a yard or two.
Yeah, good hustle that time. Saw Jack Gabriel come over, and I wonder if he's any relation to a guy by the name of Dick Gabriel, who works for Channel 27 in Lexington, huh?
Very much so. Very much so.
Good hustle by Gabriel.
So now it's 2nd and 24. Chaz Jackson for Pikeville was also out there on the field.
Of course, Brian, one of your keys to the game, ball control. Can they keep the drive going? And right now, Pikeville getting some first downs. Even if they don't score, they're keeping the ball away from that explosive Blue Devil assault.
Mayo in motion, and it goes to Harmon. Sweep to the right side. Minifield tries, and it's a halfback pass. Wide open, complete to Jacob Sword at the 12-yard line.
I tell you, we're going to have to get some shots of that Pikeville Panthers sideline because they are going crazy.
Let's check out the replay because Harmon sold it great and sucked everybody in.
Surely did, and then he sort of turns on the jets around the corner right here to get away from pressure, and then lonesome is Jacob Sword behind the defense, hustling to make the stop. 21, that's Kelly, Brendan Kelly. If he doesn't make the stop, it's 6 points back.
1st and 10 from the 13 for the Panthers is Mayo. Call signals, may audibilize again. It's Harmon who gets the snap, and he's locked up behind the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. And you know, Mayo has not had his hands on the football one time yet, I don't believe, as this drive is starting to approach the 5-minute mark. There's 5 minutes, 33 seconds left in the first period. So Pikeville moving the football and playing keep away from the much more athletic Blue Devils.
Great start by the Pikeville Panthers. 2nd and long, and seemingly old number 24, Daniel Harmon, getting his hands on it a lot here early.
Mayo once again checking off. And it goes to Harmon straight up the middle. And he gets inside the 5-yard line. It will bring up a 3rd and 1. You know, this offense, very similar to what Eastridge did against Pike Central in the first game of this doubleheader. The quarterback doesn't always get it. One of the wingbacks does. In this case, it's Daniel Harmon. And he's pretty much taken over this drive. Timeout, Pikeville.
Timeout. Timeout, Pikeville. That's their first timeout.
Mike Jackson wants to talk it over. 4:39 left in the opening frame. And Pikeville threatening to score the first points of this ballgame. An impressive drive for Pikeville with 4:39 remaining in the first. They are inside the 10, the ball on the 5. 3rd and 2. And Harmon, Daniel Harmon, the sophomore, has pretty much done it all. Mayo gets his hands on it, tries to pitch it out, and he goes nowhere. Great defense by Henry Clay, as in the backfield first was Marcus Bentley, the 6'2 senior, and he got back there in a hurry. Funda, a very good field goal kicker, but they're going for it. 4th and 7 from the 10. Mayo once again maybe checking off a little. Passing situation. Now they're trying to draw him off sides. Timeout, Pikeville.
Timeout, Pikeville. That's their second timeout.
So
all of a sudden now we've got the Cowbells here. I'm not sure how that connects to the Panthers, but that the hometown team kind of using whatever means possible to create the home field advantage. Let's check out Profunda here and see if he can pop it through.
27-yard attempt for Profunda, for Max Profunda, 6-foot junior. They had trouble with snaps during practice. The kick, nowhere close. Off to the left. It had the distance, but he hooks it to the left. And Profunda misses wide left, so Henry Clay dodges a bullet as the quick strike offense tries to come back on the field. They went 3 and out the first time.
Yeah.
We'll see what adjustments they've made.
Still a long time of possession situation for Pikeville as they had the ball with some 11 minutes to go, and they run it down to 4 minutes, so a 7-minute drive.
3:59 remaining in this opening quarter. Nothing. As Ryan Philippi, he is the quarterback, wears the number 2 jersey. He's got receivers 3 to the top of the screen, and Philippi quickly out to the flat to Jeter. Nice move. He's got about 6 yards. Great pickup. Yards after the catch for Jeter. A year ago, Jeter, this ball club, Jim, averaged 43 points a game last season. So they know how to get going with it. And Jeter, one of the several receivers coming back this year, big key for the Blue Devils to get him the football. Philippi hands off to Dante Gay. He takes it straight up the gut for a couple.
Yeah, still just a little short of the first down. And we'll see what Coach Sam Simpson has up his sleeve on 3rd and short.
3rd and 1 from the 29. Dante Gay last year in the game against Belfry was the leading rusher in that game, even though Rod Johnson kind of powered it home when it came time to the goal line situation. Philippi in the shotgun, hands off to Gay. That's close to a first down. I think he got it by the nose of the football.
It's going to be, and there you see Coach, rather official Matt Young coming up with the signal. It is a first down.
Now Dante Gay, very interesting. He led the Blue Devils in rushing last year in the first game of the season, but he only ran for 331 yards the whole year. So Johnson got a lot of the running plays. Philippi now out to throw to Minifield, out in the flat. He's got to the corner, and now he's close to a first down. And they will give him a first down, a pickup of about 12.
You know, this artificial turf surface seems to be just perfect for guys like Minifield.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just like they're on the track and ready to take off. Of course, we did have some pretty torrential rains occurred, probably from about 3:30 to 5:30, but field's obviously in great shape.
Philippi takes it about to midfield, right at midfield. It's going to be second and a couple. Or just a wide open throw it down the field. Ball club, as they were kind of labeled. Philippi does throw it down the field. This time Jeter wide open, and he overruns the ball a little bit. An incomplete pass as Clark Jeter cannot bring it in. And he's hurt maybe.
Yeah, he sort of seemed like maybe he's sort of the old jammed an ankle or something there. Not sure. Maybe a lot of it may be somewhat disconsolate because he didn't haul in the pass. But another 3rd down situation here. Let's see what happens. Pikeville came on a blitz last time.
The option to Gay. First down, fumble. Pikeville's got it. Chance Jackson is there for the recovery, and Pikeville forces the first turnover of the game.
Not sure who made the hit. It might have been Houston McAllen. Let's take a look and see who made the hit to force the fumble. Someone's going to come by here and make a big hit. And no, that's
Timmy.
Number 2, Tim Honaker. So makes the big hit, forces the fumble, and then Chance Jackson comes up to take it away. So once again, I know you're tiring of this, but another one of my former students getting in there, making the big play. And of course, Tim and Ted Honaker, as well as in the first game we saw here, Tyler Hamilton doing the good job for their coaches.
Now in at quarterback is Tim Honaker. Harmon right beside him in this very strange spread offense that they have. This a little bit more traditional spread as Honaker takes it to the right, looks to pass, and he's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Grant Deviney gets him behind the line for the sack. Loss of about 4.
It's a tough situation there for Honaker because he is a left-handed thrower. And his twin brother, Ted, tosses it with the right hand. And going against the grain there was Honaker. He kind of had that ball in a position that could have easily been knocked out.
It's a loss of 3, so 2nd and 13. As Mayo back in at the QB position. Sword, a man in the slot. Backs to both sides of Mayo. There it is to Sword, swing pass. And boy, that Blue Devil defense gets there in a hurry.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Take the words right out of my mouth. Number 6, Marcus Bentley, hustles over. Just grabbed the words right out of my mouth. And we go inside a minute to play. And Pikeville faring somewhat better, although as we remember last year's game, Henry Clay didn't really get that great a start in that game either. Belfry actually had an opportunity, had they gotten in on a 4th and short, to basically have the game tied at half, but Henry Clay exploded in that 3rd quarter.
3rd and 14, Mayo hands off to Harmon. Decent pickup, back to about the original line of scrimmage, but it's going to be a punting situation, and it's an official's timeout. And as John Michael Mayo has his right elbow cut open, so they're going to have to get that bandaged up before he's able to return to the field.
Yeah, it looks like that this may be, that may be the last play of the half. Let's take a look here, and you see just a good cut there. And 14 was Baker, as well as some others coming over to make the stop.
And that will do it for the first 12 minutes. Very well played on both ends.
First quarter.
Pikeville nothing, Henry Clay nothing. The final game of the 2006 Community Trust Bank WYMT TV Pike County Bowl presented by Food City. We're back in a moment.
Panthers back to punt, and good one away. And that one will bounce across the way, out of bounds, inside the 50-yard line, around the 47-yard line. So Henry Clay Blue Devils will set up shop with some 7.5 minutes to play in this first half. As you see Coach Sam Simpson across the way, and the Henry Clay Blue Devils. They had a terrific year last year. Pike County Bowl last year also. They wind up victorious over Belfry. That game was very close in the first half, and then seemingly the Blue Devils just able to sort of explode on Belfry in that 3rd quarter. So we'll see what happens here as we tick down in the first half.
Dante Gay with the run up the middle on first down. 7:20 and counting in this first half. Very quick moving first half. Pikeville's played keep away pretty much. It's been they've driven the ball a little bit in spurts. Of course, the big play, Daniel Harmon, Jacob Sword receiving, Daniel Harmon passing, a 44-yard reception. But Pikeville was turned away on a missed kick. Jeter out of the flat, gets it first down, and he's got more at the 25, steps out of bounds, and a nice gain. And Henry Clay, that quick strike capability, they're deep in Pikeville territory now.
For the Blue Devils, those guys can get it done offensively.
Philippi rolls to the right. He's got a man open, a couple of men open, and he connects with Jeter. Jeter led the team in receiving a year ago. He had 44 catches for a shade over 800+ yards.
The tremendous amount of skill players.
Once again, it's Philippi, this time out into the flat, or out to the right side rather. Touchdown Clark Jeter. And it does not take Henry Clay long to score. That's a touchdown from 5 yards out. And the first score of the year for Henry Clay is a touchdown pass. They're on top 6-0.
Good misdirection that time as The flow went to the bottom of your screen, and touchdown. Quarterback finds a receiver alone, and we'll see how they do on these PATs.
And the extra point is perfect. The hold from Jack Gabriel.
Whoa.
And the kick is good, and it's 7-0 Henry Clay. Let's take time out here at the Pike County Bowl. Henry Clay 7, Pikeville nothing. 5:40 remaining in this first half of play. Jesse Pinkston will kick it off for the Blue Devils. They lead 7-0 as Pikeville has Jacob Sword back. One of the Hohenakers, can't see just yet, and Harmon, and Sword with it. He looks for a little room to the left. He's going to run into a swarm of white jerseys, and Pikeville will take over at their own 21-yard line with 5 minutes, 32 seconds remaining. And Jim, you kind of think a little bit that Henry Clay has adapted to Pikeville's offense some, because Pikeville really hasn't been able to get a lot going, and they're chewing up clock, but they're not really moving the ball down the field.
Certainly not through the air anyways, and so let's see what Coach Jackson perhaps has in store. The misdirection, you know, if you've got a lot of great team speed, which Henry Clay does, you want to try to get that speed going in the wrong direction, okay? So Henry Clay going to have to be awfully disciplined defensively, stay in their lane, stay in their area to negate that change of direction.
Harmon gets the snap, and he is taken down immediately by Darius Jackson, 6 foot, 240-pound senior. You look at some of the weight lists, the listing of the weights for Henry Clay: 240, 280, 326, 260, 300, and golly, and then you look at their athletes that are 6'5", 180.
Do you think they spend some time perhaps in the weight room?
So basically, out of a whole.
Mayo again calling the play in that shotgun with Harmon in a slot right beside of him. Kind of the wing position. And it's Harmon again who gets the snap, spins his way for a few yards, and it'll bring up 3rd and long for the Panthers.
Okay, as we go inside 5 minutes to play here, Brian, I think Pikeville going to have to get a couple of first downs and try to get this thing in at halftime, maybe just down by 1 score. I think if they cough up the ball here, have to punt it away, and set up Henry Clay on a short field, you got to believe that Henry Clay could perhaps push in a quick touchdown, get ahead 14-0.
Almost 4 minutes left to play in the first half. John Michael Mayo barks out orders, changes the play a little bit. Little shovel pass inside to Harmon. He's got the first down as he crossed the 40-yard line. Big pickup for the Panthers.
That was pretty, Brian, and you can tell Coach Jackson, he's got the playbook, okay, the old shovel pass, and they're using everything. So, you know, I got to believe they spend a lot of practice time here. The shovel pass, if it had fallen out of the hands, it would have been an incomplete pass, not a fumble. And you see that young man there being able to spin, hustle, get that first down, and that was a critical play in this first half.
3:35 left as Henry Clay brings some big boys right up the middle. Fumble the football. Harmon grabs it, but so does the Henry Clay player.
Yeah, it's 2nd down. Tremendous play. Tie goes to the offense, right? Man, a hustling play there. Hustling play by Harmon. He doesn't come up with that one.
There was joint possession. The ball by rule is awarded to the offense.
Only in football does the tie go to the runner.
Hey.
A good thing for Pikeville, they hold on to the football. 2nd and 13. Can you ever not mix in a baseball analogy somewhere in there?
You've got to.
Pikeville at their own 38, inside of 3 minutes now. Mayo trying to set up an inside screen, nearly intercepted.
Whoa.
Almost the big guy, Josh Bowman, 5'11", 260. And if he's 260, there's no way. He's a load.
Oh, you know, I thought that was, he looks a little bit like Jay Crawford's man, Warren Sapp. you know? I mean, that looked a little bit like the Oakland Raider defensive tackle.
Near interception, so it stops the clock. 3rd and 13 now. And Mayo, I believe he is passing 1 of 4. So now 3 of 13, or 3rd and 13 as Harmon gets up past the original line of scrimmage. Four of 6 is Mayo on the afternoon. He was 2 of 2 in the first quarter, but for only 1 yard.
Tell you, on the tackle there, number 48, Michael Fetterspiel, and there can't be many Fetterspiels in town.
That's
so
what I'm talking about.
I got to believe it's former University of Kentucky player Joe Fetterspiel.
Played with the Colts late in his career. Clay Elliott back to punt with New Orleans, I believe, the first 10 years or so.
Yeah, exactly, down there with the aforementioned Archie Manning. At least we mentioned him yesterday. That's right. What was going on.
We never finished that Joe Who story.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 80 on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty, replay, 4th down.
We never finished that Archie Who story from the Pike Central East Ridge game. We'll have to do that in this Pikeville Henry Clay ball game.
Well, of course, he became Archie Who because he sort of bolted onto the scene right after that 88-yard quarterback sneak against Kentucky.
Elliott gets the punt away. Jeter fair catches the football to 31. So that's where Henry Clay will take over. 1:45 remaining in the first half. They do not take a long time in scoring. If you go by the time of possession and you look at that, usually you say, wow, that team is, got the lead. Obviously it's 7-0, but Pikeville's not moving the ball that well. They're not opening up. They've had one long pass play that was good for 44, but it was more of a trick play.
Sort of see here the spread offense, and critical for Pikeville to hold here if they want to stay in this game.
Philippi quickly connects with Jeter, and he's brought down by Ted Honaker.
It's a good tackle by Ted Honaker there.
Timeout Henry Clay. That's their second timeout.
Tim's twin brother comes up to make the stop once again in space. So we talked about how good Henry Clay was making those type of tackles. Let's also talk about Pikeville as they are able to be technically efficient and make those tackles.
Let us take a timeout. 1:37 left before halftime. 2nd and 7 for Henry Clay. They lead by 7 here at the Pike County Bowl in Pikeville, Kentucky. Henry Clay begins at their own 34. Inside screen to Minifield. He picks it off the ground, and it's ruled incomplete by an official on the far side of the field.
Well, you can't blame a guy for trying, can you? I mean, why not keep going? Perhaps they won't blow the whistle. 3rd down, and a good job by the Panthers here. Looked like maybe they were coming a little bit on a blitz. Let's see. And someone tipped that ball, Brian. Don't think there's any question about that. And it does hit the ground.
Call.
Not sure who tipped it, but it was tipped.
Big play here for the Pikeville defense. 3rd and 7 for Henry Clay. 1:30 in his first half. Philippi rolls out. He's got Boyd wide open. So is Jeter. And Jeter's in across the 50 into Pikeville territory and gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:24. So Henry Clay continues this drive. And boy, so efficient throwing the football. Guys wide open all over the place.
System that they employ, one that these extra talented fellas seem to be able to be so successful in. And when you've got the type of team speed that these guys do, you just want to try to get some guys in open space and one-on-one type situations.
Pikeville rushes 3. Mayo comes in on a late blitz. Clark Jeter connects. Philippi to Jeter at the 30. A flag comes in late, so let's see what the penalty is here.
Couldn't pick it up.
Discussion going on the far side of the field, and maybe an important call.
Not sure, perhaps lineman downfield. Let's see.
I think it's more important for Pikeville than it is for Henry Clay, because Henry Clay can score so quickly. Pikeville needs the field position more for defensive purposes. That was good enough for a first down, but they're the boys in the stripes. Blocking to the back, Pikeville. So it's on Pikeville.
Illegal use of hands,
Illegal
I guess.
use of the hands, so that's going to... Well, let's get the official call right here from Matt Young.
There was a block in the back on number 3 on the defense. That's a 10-yard penalty, first down. And then after the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness against Henry Clay.
Wow.
That's a 15-yard penalty. The result of the play is 1st and 10.
Okay.
The clock will start on the whistle.
Illegal block in the back, yet you don't have the ball?
I don't understand. The clock is rolling at 1:10. Henry Clay trying to add to a 7-0 lead. Pikeville rushing 3, maybe 4. Here comes 4. So they try to put some pressure on Philippi. Connects with Minifield. He's out of bounds. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Near injury on the sideline. You know, when you see someone coming at you, the idea is to get out of the way.
Certainly, that's my idea.
Especially with the athletes some of these kids are for Henry Clay. That's a gain of about 6. Or check that. The gain is up to about the 29. The pass complete, so it's now 2nd and about 5. Philippi, not a lot of pressure. He's getting to set up. Minifield has the reception, steps out of bounds, and is drilled by Josh Mullins. But he's out of bounds, stopping the clock with 52 seconds. Pikeville rushing forward, but Jim, they're not getting any pressure on Philippi, and he is setting his feet, taking his time, and is starting to pick apart the Pikeville defense.
I think to get some pressure on, they're going to have to do some blitzes, and of course, if you blitz, all that does is set up an opportunity in that open area for one of those receivers to come through. So Pikeville trying to do it, basically rushing 4 and covering with 7. Here comes a blitz, though.
Philippi to Jeter on the far side. Nice play by Tim Honaker, but he cannot wrap him up. Finally knocked out of bounds by Jacob Sword. So now that brings up 3rd down for Henry Clay.
Let's see what type of
2nd down for Henry Clay.
See what type of play Coach Sam Simpson will employ. They have only 1 timeout, I believe.
Philippi rolls to the left, looking for Aaron Boyd, being pursued by the Pikeville defense, and runs out of bounds. Tracy Hensley, keeping the camera in the game.
No question about it. How about Big Trace out there?
Check that. Jason Brimmer is down on the sideline. Almost.
Jace kept it moving there. That little sort of slide step, you know. Don't cross the legs while you're doing that slide. The basketball drill.
38 seconds remaining. 3rd and 2 for Henry Clay at the 14 as they move toward the Community Trust Bank end of the end zone. Dante Gay has it up the middle. He's got the first down at around the 10-yard line.
Still, though, with only 1 timeout left, they basically have enough time for 3, maybe 4 plays. Looks like one of the offensive linemen for Henry Clay getting up a little slow.
Timeout, Henry Clay. That's their final timeout.
Gay has about 30 yards rushing, so Pikeville's keeping him in check, but it's the passing game of Ryan Philippi and the Blue Devils that's starting to take its toll on the Panthers. 32 seconds left before halftime. Let's take a timeout. When we come back, Pikeville trying to hold the Blue Devils and keep them out of the end zone. It is 1st and goal from the 10. Ryan Philippi back to pass. Going to the end zone, Clark Jeter jumps and touchdown, Henry Clay.
Those guys can get up there, can't they?
Clark Jeter at 6 feet tall skies chance to get it. Jacob Sword doing all he could.
Yeah.
And let's check out the replay because Jeter got up.
Yeah, Pikeville tried to blitz that time, so whenever you're blitzing, you're left on that one-on-one coverage down deep, and just great job by Mr. Jeter.
Gabriel with the hold, Pinkston with the kick. It is up and good. So with 27 seconds remaining in the first half of play, Henry Clay stretches the lead to 14-0 Pikeville. We'll get this kickoff. Let's take a quick break if we can. And when we come back, we will have 27 seconds of football before we go to halftime. Pikeville needs something, and they need it in a hurry. Henry Clay with the lead, 27 seconds remaining in this first half. You look at Pikeville, what a tradition we talk about. You know, since 1986, the Panthers have been in the region finals 17 times.
Woo.
9 times they've advanced to the state semifinals since 1990. Here's the kickoff for Pikeville, taken by Sword at about the 10. Straight up the middle, and he gets to about the 33, 34-yard line before being brought down. So we'll see if Pikeville plays it conservative or if they try to get something quick in 21 seconds.
I went to school with his mom, Susan, so she's always a bright student. Look out.
Straight up the middle is Harmon, and he gets close to a first down. Does get a first down. Nice pickup of about 12 yards.
Yeah, but, you know, Brian, nearly a miscue in the backfield there. As a couple of guys went for the snap that time and nearly turned it over. That's why a lot of times guys won't go to that shotgun deep in their own territory late in the half.
That's going to be the final play of this first half with 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1, and that's going to do it. Pikeville is going to halftime, trailing 14-0 to the Henry Clay Blue Devils. We're going to take a break here at halftime. When we come back, we will go through some of the stats and quickly recap the first half as we get you ready for the second. 24 minutes of action. You're watching the Community Trust Bank WYMT TV Pike County Bowl, presented by Food City. One half of play is complete. We're getting ready for half number 2. Let's quickly take a look at the first half stats. As Henry Clay and Pikeville, Henry Clay up 14-0. Pretty much with the exception of the rushing, dominated by Henry Clay. 11 first downs. They haven't run the ball that much, but they've certainly passed it as Ryan Philippi, 18 of 23 for 180 yards, Jim.
Yeah, of course, a lot of those sort of, as you mentioned, the yards after catch, the yak, okay? Because not a lot of long passes yet. Those short ones out in the flat, and then the receivers get that one-on-one ability to make you miss and turn what would be maybe just a regular play into the big play. Of course, Pikeville with 124 yards total offense, if they could have just gotten in at the break 7-0 instead of 14, you know? Now,
because they're getting the ball starting in the second half.
They did defer, and perhaps they could have gotten this thing at 7-0, and then maybe a good drive to open up the second half, maybe tie this thing up and go. But I think it's going to be pretty difficult for Pikeville to maintain their intensity level. The heat maybe not as much a factor as it was last evening, but Pikeville has a lot of fellas going both ways on the ball, whereas Henry Clay afforded the opportunity to sort of run different units and different teams in there.
We are underway as Timmy Honaker takes it, and it gets past the 25. And that's where Pikeville will begin this third quarter, and they dominated time of possession, 15 minutes and 3 seconds to 8:57 for Henry Clay, but they amassed 124 yards on 23 plays and chewed up a lot of clock and a little bit of yardage here and there, but didn't move the ball the way they did the first time they had it.
You know, when you talk about early in the year, it's who's going to play with confidence, who's going to play with that poise under pressure. And, you know, despite the fact that Henry Clay guys have some experience, there's maybe not a whole lot of maturity, you know, the quarterback first year starting and so forth. And certainly he did a good job. 18 out of 23, pretty tough.
And there is Mayo And it's a snap to Harmon, up the middle again. He picks up about 6 yards.
Kid has a motor, doesn't he?
Well, Coach Jackson calls Harmon. He said he's maybe the best all-around back he's ever coached. And, you know, 3-sport starter last year at the varsity level. And Coach Jackson said, you know, I had 2 All-Staters at Oldham County. He may be better than all of them.
Whoa.
Great attitude, great hands, what have you. And certainly the focus of the offense a lot more this year. There's Pikeville again with that wing T, spread, single T, whatever you want to call it.
I can't call it.
There's Harmon again, close to a first down as he delivers the blow to big 57 Grant DeVinny, a 6'2", 210-pound senior. He delivered the blow to the linebacker, so it's first down Pikeville.
You know, I'm thinking perhaps that Coach Jackson has seen a lot of those old Sammy Baugh type films, okay? Back in the single wing and do some things. Man.
Got to see Freddie Maggard, the former UK quarterback and Cumberland All-Stater. He's in attendance. We'll get a shot of him in just a moment. First and 10 from the 39 for Pikeville as Mayo in motion again. He goes to Harmon around the right side, and he's got an opening, and he gets close to 10 yards.
Geez.
Jacob Sword got hit from behind, and he could be hurt.
That might have caught his knee. Let's hope not.
Oh, wow. He's
Jeez.
hurt.
Well, you don't want to see that, and we don't want to see a replay. Okay.
Well, let's see. Here it is. Let's see if we.
I don't want to see it. I'm turning away.
He gets rolled on
away
because he got caught from behind with it. Hopefully, he's not hurt bad.
I don't know, Brian.
I
can't look.
He is really hurt.
Oh, let's hope that it was just a cramp.
Well, let's take a quick timeout while he is being attended to. Pikeville, they have their helmets off and maybe saying a little bit of a prayer for their fallen teammate at the moment. Down 14-0. We're back in just a second. So hopefully Sword looks to be okay, just a little shaken up. For second and 1 for Pikeville as Mayo barks out the directions. Harmon again, straight up the gut. That's a first down, so they're moving the football again.
Hey, how about this drive by the Panthers? And you're exactly right, Brian. Jacob Sword pops right up, and you know, during the break here, I was telling you, if that's my leg, I never walk again, okay? But these fellas, that's what the weight training and the conditioning really pay off.
After this play, we'll show a little clip of a gentleman who's standing down on the field and see if you can name him at home. First and 10 for Pikeville as they cross into Henry Clay territory. Over to Harmon again. This time they roll to the left side with it. And whoa, some pads clash down there as he gets about 5 or 6 on the play. Let's go ahead and roll. Let's step back into yesteryear. There's Freddie Maggard.
Well, you gave it away, so we can't
it's Kentucky National Guard down there with his $200 Italian leather shoes he's so proud of. Check him out in 1986.
Okay.
This is Freddie Maggard.
Well, there's no way I could have told you that was Freddie. Here we go.
Check out the old video as he makes the nice pass, and you know he's going to have an interview coming up. I tell you what, he looks better 22 years ago, but or 20 years ago. We'll go back and show the big run that he had in just a moment. Second and 7 for Pikeville. Once again, Harmon takes it, and he gets a little bit closer to that first down. Let's go back 1986 regional championship game. Cumberland against Pikeville.
How about this?
Cumberland up 7-0, and watch number 1. A 60-yard run.
Look out. That's
First
here,
quarter.
That's here.
That is here at Hambly, at the Hambly Complex. That play right there, as Rick Bentley wrote about this week in the Appalachian News Express, the final score 14-6 as Freddie Maggard jaunts 60 yards. That was Pikeville's last loss for 33 games. Of course, they went on to win 3 consecutive state championships. Freddie Maggard, the great Cumberland High School quarterback. 3rd and 4 for Pikeville. Harmon again, first down, Panthers. And Harmon is really running the ball well for Pikeville.
Certainly they're chewing up clock. 4 minutes gone now in this 3rd quarter. And boy, if they could have just avoided that last Henry Clay touchdown, then you'd be looking perhaps at that tie game. And we talk about the difficulty to play with poise under the pressure of the first game out and so forth. And perhaps putting a little bit of that pressure on Henry Clay could have caused some mistakes.
First and 10 for Pikeville. They're moving the ball once again, chewing up a lot of clock. 7:43. Harmon met, and he gets a few yards. Of course, you think back to Pikeville, first possession around the 10-yard line, goal to go, and Max Bafunda missed about a 27-yard kick. And now we've got a Henry Clay player down, holding his right leg, maybe right knee. Can't tell exactly who it is just yet. That is possibly, I think it's Michael Fetterspiel.
You know, I was talking with Bob Shurtleff just a few moments ago at halftime, and he said that Fetterspiel's mother was sitting down in front of us. So, not sure who that lady is.
Was that Joe's boy? I mean,
oh, yeah.
It's got to be.
Oh, yeah, there's not many Fetterspiels in town.
Let's take a break while Fetterspiel is down. 7:29 remaining in the third quarter. Pikeville down 14-0, but once again, they're moving the football here at the Pike County Bowl. Fetterspiel taken off the field, holding that right knee, and he had to be assisted off the field, so hopefully he's all right. Pikeville's drive, now 2nd and 7, close to the 10th play of this drive. It's chewed up close to 5 minutes now, 7 minutes, running clock. Playing keep away from Henry Clay, but the Blue Devils have the lead. Harmon around the right side. He gets to the 30-yard line. So that's going to bring up third and about 3 or 4 maybe.
I'll tell you, really impressed with this Harmon kid. Just a sophomore, as you mentioned, and of course Coach Jackson loves his ability. And I'll tell you what, I think I really love his toughness. This kid is taking some licks and still has that perfect technique for hanging on to the football. And as many times as he's running in traffic on the inside, kind of between the tackles, he's gotten a lot of his yards not on the outside for the little guy, but on the inside.
4 down territory for Pikeville, definitely. 3rd and 3 from the Henry Clay 30. And don't delay of game.
Fire the snap, delay of game, number 8 on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
Big penalty right there.
Hey, you gotta figure they'll try to get Harmon with his hands on the ball. You see Coach Jackson there trying to give the signal to speed things up. We talked about the sort of addition to their helmets there, the numbers on the helmet, okay? I think if Harmon wore number 22, he would remind me of the great Alabama running back Johnny Musso. I mean, that guy could get it between the tackles.
3rd and 8, Harmon, a little misdirection. It fumbles the football, picked up by Henry Clay, and the Blue Devils will take over at their own 20-yard line. I believe Aaron Boyd was the first one there, and it is Henry Clay football. It's who comes up out of the pile. It is Aaron Boyd. Yeah, so a big gain by Pikeville, a great drive of 5 minutes, 58 seconds, ends up in nothing but a good drive.
Just like I said, he was going to fumble the ball. No, just great job here. He's going to, let's see, looks like 57. That was
that's
Deviney.
Yeah.
Deviney comes in and knocks the ball away, and then hustling over the 6'5", Aaron Boyd recovers.
And now Minifield at quarterback in a little misdirection himself as he scrambles up for about 4 yards. And Timmy Honaker went flying into the Henry Clay bench. He got pushed, got blocked out of bounds. So now Henry Clay trying to show a little wrinkle or two. And
look, that's Ted Honaker down right there, isn't it?
That is Ted Honaker. He will have to come out of the ball game. So he is walking off. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything that'll keep him out of the ball game that long.
Maybe signaling that he's got a little bit of a cramp maybe in the calf, perhaps the thigh.
Well, I think he's looking at his hamstrings. He's kind of putting his hands.
Don't say that.
He's got his right hand back on the back of his right leg, so I think it's more of a hamstring cramp maybe than anything. Maybe both of them. We'll see. 2nd and 5 as Henry Clay comes up to the line. 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen. And Minifield is the quarterback. It's a QB draw, and Minifield, nice tackle in the backfield. Hit at the line by Brad Bryant, 5'10", 235-pound senior. He didn't get a lot of him, but he got enough of him.
Good tackle going for the ankles. Brings down Minifield and sets up the 3rd and short. A lot of options here.
J.D. McCoy also in there on the tackle. 3rd and 4 now as Henry Clay goes to the air. Minifield wide open is Bill French. The connection is good enough for a first down. So his first pass attempt for the season is complete.
Tell you, the Minifield kid does it all. He's a great offensive threat, both running and catching the ball. Now he's got the throwing of the ball, and I tell you, he's one of the best punters we've seen on mountain football. He's gotten a couple of huge punts off.
Handoff to Dante Gay, kicks it to the outside. He's got some running room, and if he gets a block, tackled inside on the other side of the 50. Big pickup, close to 20 yards. From the 34 to the 45, so 16 and 5, 21 yards on the pickup. So Henry Clay showing they can do a lot more than just throw the football, as they have spread the field with receivers as Minifield rolls to the right. Kind of flips it out there. Great one-handed attempt by Clark Jeter. He pulled that in. That'd have been nice.
We're not going to one and throwing. Go after him. Yep. I'm going Panther the whole time right here.
You know, Minifield not very fluid in the way he throws the ball. Kind of flicks it out there.
Yeah.
But you have to respect his speed. I tell you, if he ever ran a speed option sometime, a veer option, get to the corner, he could be gone.
Certainly he's Division I prospect all the way. Not at quarterback, but almost a number of other positions on the field.
I believe he's committed to Virginia. There's Jeter. Look how quick he gets to the sticks. He's around the outside, knocked out of bounds. And boy, the Blue Devils are starting to heat up a little. And if it gets, they heat up too much, this could turn into a blowout quickly.
Looks like Mayo had to hustle over and make the stop as Henry Clay gets inside the 30 to the 25-yard line, and it just seemed to spread the field so effectively and get you on those one-on-one situations.
Minifield over to Aaron Boyd. Great move. Boyd gets inside the 20-yard line. That's a pickup of around 7 to 8 yards, and man, how quick.
You know, we talked about this guy last year.
Yeah.
He could be sort of the diamond in the rough with his size and speed, and talk about the fluid movements. He's D1 all the way, I think, also.
Oh, easy. Henry Clay, the Blue Devils are moving the football right down the field. Minifield to the outside. He's at the 10, he's at the 5, taken down around the 6-yard line. Great shoestring tackle by the Panthers. I think that was Houston.
A little bit of a cramp here, Brian. A little bit of a cramp.
McAnallen with the tackle, so. And Minifield is hurt. Down, and yeah, when you see everybody stand the leg up, it's nothing more than a cramp.
You know, he made a touchdown catch in the Pike County Bowl last year. It was for the highlight reel of all time. And if you remember, he knocked the breath out of him. They had to take the pads off and the whole works.
Well, while he's being attended to on the field, it's 1st and goal for Henry Clay. 3:25 remaining. If we can, let's take us a quick break. When we come back, we'll see if Henry Clay can lengthen this lead out, and if they do, it may be too much for Pikeville to overcome. We're back in a moment at the Pike County Bowl. We are back to action, and a new quarterback for Henry Clay, the 3rd of the night, Patrick Rouse, 6-foot senior. He's in there wearing number 15. Tyler Hooker is in the backfield with him. So let's see what kind of new look Henry Clay comes out with. 2 receivers to both sides of Rouse. And it's the handoff straight up the middle to the outside. That is Hooker. He's in for the touchdown. Tyler Hooker around the left end, and it did not take Henry Clay long to score. They now lead 20-0.
Yeah, the Hooker, you're going to see it right here. He hooks his way into the end zone. Don't believe he was actually touched. You see the good speed there? And into the end zone for 6 points.
Pinkston in for the kick. Jack Gabriel, the hold is down, the kick is up, and it is good. So with 3 minutes exactly left in the third quarter, it is Henry Clay 21, Pikeville nothing. We will return in just a moment at the Community Trust Bank WYMT TV Pike County Bowl, presented by Food City. Jim Frazier.
Oh, you got it, my friend.
Well, Pikeville is used to shutouts in the Pike County Bowl. Right now, they're being blanked 21-0. Last year, they lost 38-0 to Newport Central Catholic. The year before, in 2004, they beat Prestonsburg 14-0. And there's been a lot of shutouts lately. You also go back to 2003 when Boyd County shut out Belfry 18-0. To make it worse, Pikeville in 03, they were shut out 26-0 by Lawrence County. So scoring in the Pike County Bowl been a little rough on the Panthers lately. There's Jacob Sword. Takes it, and he is dropped by Dante Gay. So a long way to go for Pikeville, a team that has not moved the ball quickly. You see Coach Copley down there, former Lawrence County assistant. I think Tim Champlin's down there also, possibly, former Pikeville Panther. So a lot of, you look at Pikeville recently, they have not scored much in the Pike County Bowl. You got to go back to 02 when they beat Campbellsville 31-8 for a point explosion, an offensive explosion out of the Panthers. Now John Michael Mayo is in the shotgun with a much more spread type offense to throw the football. 3 receivers are to his left, 1 to his right. And now he does throw it, and it's incomplete. Jacob Sword, flag on the play.
You know, Henry Clay,
it's going to be on the Panthers.
You know, Henry Clay has done a good job defensing this, but still Pikeville has gained a reasonable amount of yardage. I think when Pikeville begins to play teams more in their Class A versus Class 4A, I think you're going to see this type of offense really confuse teams about what their defensive responsibilities are. Give his
Illegal
team a
formation, 6 men on the line of scrimmage, 5-yard penalty, first down.
In a moment, we'll take a look at the Pikeville schedule and show you who they have coming up. And Pikeville, they've got a decent schedule. Of course, that Class A district over here, District 8, when Hazard and Paintsville have been on, it's been a 3-team race pretty much. But sometimes Pikeville, there you say Henry Clay, East Jessamine, Peaburg. So a decent start to the schedule. And of course, Belfry, September 22nd, that's a big one. The last non-district game finished with Hazard and Paintsville. Incomplete pass as Mayo cannot hook up with the receiver.
Of course, Boyd was right on the receiver there. Mayo threw the ball in the only spot he could because Boyd would have been all over him. You see, picking up the schedule there. I kind of like the fact they're going to have the open date on October 6th and then go Jenkins, Hazard, Paintsville as you get ready for playoffs.
2nd and 15 for the Panthers. That last pass incomplete. Josh Staggs, the intended receiver. So now the clock is stopping. 2:47. Handoff to Ted Honaker, and Henry Clay's defense, boy, they close on the football so quickly.
My fault.
3rd and 17 for Pikeville, a team obviously that can throw it, but more of a time-consuming drive type of a team. They have the guys that can catch it, but this Henry Clay defense, they're starting to bring a little bit of heat, and here comes a blitz.
Look out.
Mayo is crunched as he lets it go. Incomplete to Tim Honaker, and Mayo is hurt. He got lit up by Chris Tharp, and Mayo is down, and he is hurt.
Also across the way, Tim Honaker down. I believe Tim in front of the Henry Clay bench there. You see the sportsmanship we see in Kentucky high school sports as the trainers and assistant coaches from Henry Clay administer some aid to the former Betsy Lane Bobcat.
We need to go back. Yeah, I was going to say we need to go back to Mayo because he's the guy who's hurt. There you see Mike Jackson very concerned about his starting quarterback.
You know, these Henry Clay guys are so big up front, but they're quick too.
Oh,
you know, I mean, and I don't believe Henry Clay is as good as they were last year, but there is the potential for this team to perhaps reach that level. You know, they are certainly strong on both sides of the ball. Special teams, we've seen Menifee punt tremendously.
We're going to take a timeout. 1:54 left in the third period. Mayo down, Timmy Honaker down, the Panthers down by 21. Well, that's a good sign, at least that he's walking off the field, but you kind of wonder where the injury is, and he got hit pretty hard, and, you know, he's out on his feet, I think.
You know, I think you're right. It could be, it almost looks like a concussion type situation.
I mean, John Michael Mayo, he's hurt. Timmy Honaker is hurt, and if you remember, we went back to the keys to the game. Stay healthy was one big factor that Pikeville had. The last preseason game they played, they kept 8 starters out because of nicks and bangs and injuries, what have you. And now Tim Honaker kind of walking like he's on stilts there because the cramps hurting, and Mayo,
well, you hate to see it.
He doesn't have all of his faculties there with him, I don't think. He's pretty groggy and just kind of, you know, he's out on his feet, unfortunately. Max Bafunda and some of the other guys making way for him on the bench, kind of clearing out so they can lay him out, stretch him out, and check him out. And now a lot of the fans kind of approach the gate, the fence, to get a better look. And I think Royce Mayo, the former coach, he coached at Belfry as an assistant and came to Pikeville, and he coached, I believe he's gone down and checked on his son.
Yeah.
So hopefully John Michael Mayo is all right. 4th and 17. Clay Elliott back to punt as the Panthers trail 21-0, and there's a bad snap, but no rush. So Elliott puts the big boot into it, kicks it away from everybody, so he's going to get a nice roll to it. And it'll come to about the 43-yard line, so about a 45-yard punt. And, yeah, you kind of figured, you know, it was going to be a game where if Pikeville could hang around and put themselves in a position to be in striking distance. Yeah. But now down 21-0, and Henry Clay starting to do just about anything they want. Inside screen, and that's complete. Dante Gay looking for blockers. Great spin move at the 32, and he's knocked out of bounds. Big pickup by the Blue Devils.
Blue Devils had fallen on some hard times in the late 90s, early in this new decade here, the aughts, I guess you'd call them. But you see they're coming right at your screen, the ball carrier, and he gets scissors out of bounds.
Incomplete pass, and once again, I think if the Pikeville defender, that was McAnallen, if he had his head up, he could have an interception on the brain. To go back to the point you made, Henry Clay in the 90s had a record of 51-62 and really struggled. Yeah. They did make it to the state finals in the mid-90s once, but it took him 5 years of 1-9, 4-6s, you know, to make it there. But in the 2000s, they've already hit 52 wins. They're 52-25. Last year, they lost to Trinity in the state semifinals, 41-20. Dante Gay to the right side. He's got blockers in front of him, and he weaves his way to a first down inside the 20-yard line.
That's unbelievable.
Of course, Brian, with talk, of course, Trinity, St. X, those teams dominating 4A. There's talk of perhaps moving to 6 classes in Kentucky high school football. So we've got a minute and 11 seconds here left in the third quarter. What are your thoughts about perhaps moving to the 6 classes?
I am not for it at all. I think 5 classes is more than enough, and I think it's a way, as Dante Gay gets up the middle, Ted Honaker tackles him down. I think it's a way that you get more people into the playoffs, but they may not deserve to be in the playoffs.
Yep.
And I realize that in baseball and basketball, volleyball, softball, everybody goes to the postseason, but football has always been different. You know,
Yep.
20 years ago, only the district winner and I think district runner-up win,
Yep.
or maybe just the district winner, you know. So I don't like the new 6-class system, but we'll see if it works. Aaron Boyd goes up, touchdown, Henry Clay. And when you're 6'5" and you're being guarded, defended by a guy who's not that tall, it's kind of easy to go up and really easily with the touchdown. And Henry Clay starting to pour it on, up 27-0, Jim.
I tell you, that guy, number 7, scores 6 points, but a huge upside to the college recruiters interested in number 7, Aaron Boyd. Got to believe that Rich Brooks and the boys are taking a long look and asking him to maybe come down Richmond Road and settle down in at the University of Kentucky.
Yeah, some of Kentucky's finest athletes, and you have to win your state in recruiting those who can play D1. You've got to keep them, as Pinkston goes in for the kick, and he tacks it on another one, 28-0. You got to keep the ones who can play. Chase Minifield can play, but he's going to a Commonwealth of Virginia possibly to play football. We're going to take time out. 26 seconds left. 28-0. Henry Clay, not much left for the Panthers. We're back in a moment. 28-0. Freddie and Jason Bremer, they're getting some attention. When you have a camera, it's amazing the people that flock to you to say, put me on TV. It's an overrated experience, but, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, thank goodness Freddie was not wearing the tag stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, if he had that deal going on, it would be like a lookout. There'd be some lookout blocks out there.
Nice kick by Pinkston. Ted Honaker takes it. He's out to the 20, 25, 30, and he's brought down at the 31-yard line. So Pikeville will start there as they look to get something on the scoreboard. They've only had 2 chances, really, to score. The Max Mafunda missed 27-yarder, and then also in the third, when they had 3rd and 3, and they had to delay a game and went to 3rd and 8, there's Honaker. Decent return.
This kid, he keeps the motor running, and he's not afraid to stick his hat in there. And just right now, you got to believe that these guys, I see Tim Honaker back in the action. He's like Gordon Varney, you're not really going to keep him out of there very long. But I'm thinking that maybe in this 4th quarter, some of the reserves will get more opportunities.
Ted takes it, and he may get back to the line of scrimmage. Of course, Tim and Ted Honaker, the sons of the great Timmy Honaker, who played here in the late 80s, and Hillard Howard called the greatest football player he ever coached. And of course, Timmy Honaker in the Pikeville Hall of Fame as his plaque hangs inside the T.W. Oliver Gymnasium. That's 3 quarters in the books. Henry Clay 28, Pikeville nothing. 12 minutes away from the end of the 2006 Pike County Bowl. 12 minutes away from Pikeville and Henry Clay, the conclusion of this ball game. It's been time of possession all Pikeville.
Yeah.
But in yardage and moving the ball and scoring, it's been all Henry Clay, and there's some of their faithful.
Yeah. I think probably Dick Gabriel was in there somewhere, wasn't he?
Yes, he is. Dick is in the house. Dick Gabriel. Ted Honaker kicks it to the outside. And Ted gets a first down for Pikeville. Of course, these guys improved their 40 times. The football coaches, you know, they go by the 40s, and last year they ran 4.8. This past year they ran into the 4.6s, and definitely D1 material players, Tim and Ted Honaker.
Yeah, of course, I taught both of those fellas in 5th and 6th grade, and
what did you teach
I was
them
telling
exactly?
you, no kidding, it was a little math, I hope, but I was telling the folks about Tim Honaker, about the skills and so forth, and I said, but that's not the best thing about him. They said, what do you mean? What do you mean? After going through all the stats, I said, he's got a twin brother.
Well, Ted takes it. Tim blocks for him, and Ted is met, and he is driven down hard by Marcus Bentley. Boy, they close so quickly on defense, and you know, Pikeville's not going to face speed like this against anybody else the rest of the year.
No, and you're going to see the pursuit here. Maybe a little hole back there on your screen, but the pursuit here and the finish as Henry Clay's Marcus Bentley, 6'2", 190 senior, comes in. And, well, that pursuit, that quickness, that's team speed that Henry Clay has. And you see them, they pretty much have 11 guys within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Ted Honaker up for about a gain of 4, and you look at the total yardage after 3 quarters. Henry Clay, 357 total yards. Pikeville, 180 on 37 plays. So Pikeville has owned the clock, but they don't own the scoreboard as they trail 28-0 and on the verge of being shut out again at the Pike County Bowl.
Well, let's see if they can't.
Hopefully they can avoid that.
Yeah, let's see if they can't get this drive into the end zone. They may try 4 downs here, 3rd and 5. Uh-oh.
Bad snap, and Henry Clay believes they've come up with it. We'll clear the pile and see. Tim Honaker may have fallen on the football, and he does. But now it's 4th and forever as the punting unit comes back onto the field.
What was the turning point in this game? You think maybe when the second touchdown, Henry Clay able to push that second touchdown?
Well, Henry Clay did that to Belfry last year. Right before the half, they got a nice kick here by Elliott. Nice high spiral, gets a big bounce, and it'll go out about the 34. Nice punt by the sophomore. Hopefully, John Michael Mayo is okay. He's not returned to the game, and hopefully he will be all right for next week's action.
Haven't seen his father return to the press box yet, so Brian's trying to check on some of those things right now, but not real sure as to the status of young Mr. Mayo.
Got his bell rung. Bobby Norman giving me a little note. He's with the East Kentucky Broadcasting team. He got his bell rung, and so he's probably not going to come back in this game. Yeah, it'd be great to win a Pike County Bowl as a senior going out, but there's such a bigger prize awaiting a team at the end of this season.
Start, 60 offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And as we mentioned earlier tonight, Pikeville, since 1986, Pikeville has been in 17 region championship games.
That's unbelievable.
They won. They went to the state semifinals 7 times in the 90s, twice in the 2000, the new millennium. And of course, they obviously won 3 region titles in the late 80s, winning the state championship. So 107-29 during the 1990s. Pikeville, one of the most successful programs in Kentucky. As Henry Clay has it, Ryan Philippi back in the ball game at quarterback, but another flag on the play. Pikeville contingent starting to thin out a little bit. There is Dick Gabriel down to our right in front of the press box. His son plays, Jack Gabriel. He's the holder on the extra points. Of course, Dick Gabriel with 27, WKYT in Lexington for more than 2 decades. Philippi rolls out to the left and throws back across his body, and he's got a receiver open. And that's number 5, who's not on the varsity roster, and he's not on the JV roster.
Oh, he's not on the JV roster?
So he's not on the roster.
Maybe he's a freshman. I'll see if I can pick that up here.
He's not on the JV roster or the varsity, so good number, though.
Yeah.
4th and 2 as Henry Clay with 7:27 looks to continue this drive.
Shannon Cooper.
And first down, Henry Clay. Oh, you got the freshman list also. Wow, you've got them all.
Sure, absolutely.
Timeout, Pikeville.
Timeout on the field. Pikeville takes a timeout as they give up another first down to Henry Clay. 7:20 remaining in this ball game. Back out of the commercial break. Philippi being chased from behind and brought down. Nice tackle in the backfield by Pikeville's Josh Mullins, the 5'10 sophomore. Tracked him down, and a big loss for Henry Clay. That'll bring up 2nd down and goal from the 15-yard line. Sam Simpson in his 15th year at Henry Clay, going for win number 101. He's 101-60 through 14. So he's been there quite a while, and 5 minutes, 34 seconds away from grabbing win 101. Philippi.
The blitz.
Out, and the pass is incomplete. Philippi, boy, it's one of the few mistakes he's made tonight, and really some confusion there on Henry Clay's side. Brings up 3rd and goal.
Of course, Brian, you had Brandon Hensley and all the sports staff and all the help got sports overtime going last evening. You know, I'm not sure if you had the opportunity, we haven't talked about this, there was a key play in the Cumberland Valley Bowl last night. We'll get to it just in a second.
Philippi running the option again at the 10, and he is hit hard.
Maybe a fumble. Not sure. They're saying maybe the ground ball was down, but not sure if you saw it or not, but the South Laurel Covington Holmes game, early in the game, there was a question about whether there was a forward pass or completion, or was it a lateral, was it a fumble type situation. And kind of were able to pick up Covington Holmes ahead 6-0 at that time, was able to pick up the ball, run 55 yards untouched to make the score 12-0, and they never really looked back.
Joey Pinkston will attempt the 25-yarder out of the hold from Jack Gabriel to make it 31-0. The kick is up, and it is good.
Whoa.
With a lot to spare on it, so Pinkston, only a freshman.
The soccer style.
He drills it, 31-0 Henry Clay, 4:33 remaining in the ball game. Let us take a break, and when we return, Pikeville probably will get their hands on the ball maybe for the final time in this ball game. They trail 31-0. Let's see if the Panthers can avoid the shutout. Henry Clay with the lead, and they will open up the season 1-0 before they head to Boyle County, or before they host Boyle County, then head to Bell County. Pinkston drives the ball deep. Ted is there at the 7, straight up the field to the 40-yard line, and boy, he gets there quick. Ted Honaker, or the 35-yard line rather, gets there quickly. So Pikeville once again, they've had pretty decent field position the whole night.
So who you got in the PGA? Mr. Tiger?
Yeah, how do you not take Tiger? The Wanamaker Trophy has got to be just.
I'm going with Phil.
I'd love to see Lefty do it, but you know, Harmon with his first touch on the football since he coughed it up. Just want to thank everybody in Food City for their halftime, sponsoring the halftime report and the post-game presentation of the MVP. Food City, a great friend to WYMT and especially Eastern Kentucky and the athletics that we provide on television. Them and the great sponsors, Community Trust Bank, and on and on and on. And of course, after the game, we will hear from those sponsors one more time. Their names will be recognized. Tim flushed out of the pocket, the lefty. Incomplete, really throwing it to no one, flushed out of the pocket, so no intentional grounding, kind of out of that tackle box there. So
1, 2, 3, throw. He's standing out here.
Hey, you heard Mike Jackson, 1, 2, 3, throw. He's standing wide open. So Mike Jackson, you know where you stand with him. I like that. You know, he was at Oldham County for a long time, and comes back to Pikeville, the former Corbin player. And he was at, since 98, he's 65-31, went to the regional finals with Oldham County in 98, 01, and 03, but he never won it.
Right.
So hopefully he's got a great chance with Pikeville to winning it and taking the Panthers back to the state semifinals. But Hazard, Painesville, Lencamp, Somerset, Harlan, people in between have a lot to say about that first. Swing pass out to the flat. I think that's Sword that caught it, and it is. Clay Elliott back to kick. 2:40 in the running clock. Gets it away. Nice high spiral. If he hits, it's going to take a big bounce out of bounds. And that's one thing, you know, being the only thing I could do on a football field was kick the thing. Why more punters don't kick it away from the return guy.
Man.
Another quarterback for Henry Clay, their 4th on the night, and everybody scrambles for the freshman and JV roster with 2:30 to play. And hit behind the line, that's old number 19. We've got John Walton on the JV roster. We've got 2 minutes, 5 seconds remaining in this ball game. All Henry Clay pretty much, even from the outset. The pass out to the left flat.
Just another great job by the folks.
And for the first time tonight on television, we get to give you the name of number 41. That's Eddie Nazo Mesa Bangubi.
Great job,
Say
Brian
that
Mallett.
50
Great job.
times in the game.
Calling him Big Nas. Great play, Big Nas.
Our man Ken Hall's called him Fast Eddie all night. Oh, boy.
Oh, man. That's what happens when you have 12 hours of high school football in 2 nights.
22nd edition of the Pike County Bowl will be in the books. And I want to thank everyone who was at Central Appalachian Mining Stadium at Belfry on Friday night. Here at Howard Field on Saturday night. It's been a long weekend, but a fun weekend.
There you go.
And less than a minute to play, 40 seconds to go as Pinkston will go back, and he drills it. And ball bounces and bounces and rolls inside the 20 to about the 15-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to get him for interference, I believe.
After 3 quarters, Harmon had receiving at 16 yards receiving, 44 yards passing, and 129 yards rushing through 3 quarters. We'll get the final stats on him as Tim Honaker takes it around the right side and gets close to a first down, about a pickup of 9. And that will just about do it. You know, we never finished the Archie Who story. No. I don't believe we ever did. You know, Tennessee beat Archie and Ole Miss 31-0. Everybody said Archie Who.
Right.
Of course, and then they beat Tennessee 38-0 and kind of started the Archie Manning legacy as he went on to the NFL. And that'll do it. 31-0 the final score as Henry Clay starts the year 1-0. Pikeville falls to 0-1. Henry Clay does it in impressive fashion. 31-0 post-game. Food City post-game wrap-up in just a moment. Welcome back to the 2006 Community Trust Bank WYMT TV Pike County Bowl presented by Food City. And right now, the Food City MVP for Pikeville, despite a losing effort, Daniel Harmon, the sophomore. Daniel, there's some more hardware to take home tonight. I know, kind of bittersweet. It's nice to be honored. You lose tonight. Talk about just how quick Henry Clay was out there on defense.
Well, it seems like everywhere we go, they were there. And my lineman did well in blocking, but there was just nothing we could do. By the end of the game, we were just wearing down. But that's the difference in 1A and 4A.
Early on, the Panthers, you had a chance to score, kind of a trick pass. You know, you got a 44-yard pass there. Talk about the kind of the letdown you have. You're so close to scoring, but you don't get in.
Well, it's rough, but I mean, you just got to suck it up and just try for it next time.
Congratulations on a great game despite the losing effort. Great effort